It's a great time to see you, Erin, president of Food Bank of the Rockies, and we are ready to kick it off again. Fill the truck with KYGO.
Yes, thank you for all of the important work that you do. You have a big job, especially this time of year, right?
Yeah, it's a big job throughout the year. And this is the time of year that really fuels our operations for the entire year, as we're depending on financial gifts that come in and all the food that gets donated for our neighbors in need, that we're serving more than 400,000 people over the course of a year.
And that stat seems, I mean, when numbers get that big, sometimes they get too big to even put into perspective, right? Like it just seems so big. It's 1 in 7 families was the stat that we had. I mean, that itself, when you think about your street and your neighborhood, that to me was like, whoa.
Yeah, and always, the rates of food insecurity for kids are the highest. So you're right, it's about 1 in 7 kids in Colorado that's struggling with food insecurity. If you look at all people, it's about 1 in 9. And regardless, it's so many people. And oftentimes we may not expect, because it's our neighbors, people who are struggling to make ends meet, who are often working multiple jobs. And just because of rising housing costs, food inflation, having to make cruel choices like paying a car repair bill or putting food on the table.
So, Erin, is it getting better? Like last year, the year before, this year, are we seeing the numbers go down with people with food insecurities, or is it getting worse?
So you would think it was going down, because we all saw, like in the height of COVID, the lines of cars to receive food. What also happened in the height of COVID is a lot of federal government support, both for families in need, as well as for organizations like Food Bank of the Rockies. All of those pandemic era supports have now ended. And we are also being faced with, like I said, housing increase costs and inflation. Yeah. So we're actually seeing higher need now than we have seen nationwide for the last 10 years.
Oh, wow.
We had the biggest 1-year increase that we've had since 2008. And we're faced with meeting that need with fewer resources because those pandemic era supports have ended.
I can tell you, around this office, there is a competitiveness this year with the amount of food that we're going to raise. I mean, everyone is so benefit you. Inspired this year. And I don't know, there is this energy going into it. And I know that our listeners, they always come through, but I know this year in particular is going to be bigger than ever. And one of the things that I was thinking about is last year when we did this, we would go in and we would buy a bag of food, and we would, when we would make a donation, hit that pantry first. And I was like, you know what? Anything that I have 2 of in a non-perishable, I'm going to take one, because I know that we can go and we're at a place where we can go and restock that. It's surprising how much you will get out of your own pantry that you can donate to.
Yeah, absolutely. And we appreciate that, especially like ready to eat proteins like peanut butter, dried beans, lentils, oatmeal, whole grain cereals. There's so many things that we think of like those are the more expensive items. And those are also items that our neighbors need.
I've got an oatmeal sitting in my pantry.
There you go.
Unopened, just bought it. I'm bringing like the just the dry oatmeal you'd cook with, not the packets of oatmeal with. But probably
either way, as long as the package is unopened. Yeah. And thank you for that.
Yeah, don't make it for that.
I shouldn't make oatmeal cookies. I'll make them for everybody that comes out to help us fill the truck. I'll have treats provided.
Yeah, there you go.
We will hold you to that.
Okay. So we're at the Highlands Ranch Wal-Mart, and it's November 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, we are so excited. And we so appreciate all the food donations. And for your listeners who maybe can't make it out those 3 days or want to give it a different time, we depend on financial gifts throughout the year. When people are like, okay, it's not convenient for me to go to Walmart, to donate food, for everyone who can make it, thank you so much. For those who can't, if they donate financially instead, we can actually purchase and distribute enough food for 3 meals with every dollar donated, because we have such massive purchasing power. So however people give back, whether it's bringing food in, volunteering, or making a financial gift online.
So let's talk about the volunteering part, because we're obviously talking about bringing the food in, KYGO.com to make a financial gift. You'll know, Fizz, when your kids get to this age, but in high school, they have some community service things that they have to do. My 2 older ones chose Food Bank of the Rockies and came out there and volunteered and did all of their service hours. And it was life-changing for them to see how your operation works, how massive it was. And it really put those numbers you gave us into perspective.
Yeah, it does. My son did all of his graduation requirements here too for community service, all down to the wire the last week.
We can talk. Yeah.
And it is a great way to engage your kids and engage your family. Your volunteers need to be just 10 years old to come volunteer in our distribution center. And I don't know about your kids, but it helps bring it home. Like, not all families have enough food on the table. And this is important. Like, can you imagine going to school every day if you haven't had dinner the night before, and maybe if you hadn't had breakfast and didn't have food in your house?
Right. And you had mentioned too, when, a lot of people don't know, it's not like this is something when there's insecurities with food that people talk about. They don't volunteer that information. Who's going to say that? They're not going to, your neighbor's not going to come up and tell you. Kids are the same way. So like you said, it is a family thing that a lot of people can get involved in, whether it is the volunteering, if you yourself can't donate, but also making that financial donation where you can use so much with the partnerships that you have. And of course, coming to see us at Highlands Ranch Walmart, the 6th, 7th, and 8th.
So excited. I was just on our loading dock this morning and just looking at the truckloads of food coming in, just food that we're purchasing. That's 10 semi-trucks full every single week.
Wow.
So yes, for the food that people are donating, we so appreciate it. And for those for whom it's more convenient to make a financial gift, we'll bring in more. Today it was lots of apples. I saw Gaylords with these giant, I don't know how many gallons, just tons and tons of apples that we are boxing up today to get out into our community right away. And that means more fresh produce like that we can purchase.
That's fantastic. Can we ask, because we always do get asked through DMs when this does come up, we'll get some listeners saying, hey, how do we get involved? And they're looking for the other way. They're looking for, my family needs some help. Do they go to your website to sign up for services?
Yeah, if someone wants to visit foodbankrockies.org, and there's a button that it's find food. And so they can find a food distribution, whether it's one of our mobile pantries. We run more than 70 mobile pantries every month across half of Colorado and all of Wyoming, as well as all the more than 800 what we call hunger relief partner organizations that we serve. And these are food pantries that are often in their neighborhoods that we can refer them to.
Wonderful.
You do all of the important work all year long. We are with you next week, and this is a big truck.
Yes.
This is a semi. At the beginning of this fill the truck promotion that we go out and it starts, we can do cartwheels in this thing.
Yeah.
By day 2, it's filled with so much food that's going to help so many families. We are so proud to be partnering with you this holiday season again.
We so appreciate it. This is what makes our work possible. And because of you, more people will have Thanksgiving on their table, and more kids are going to bed with food in their stomachs and can do well in school. Thank you.
We are ready to kick it off. 6th, 7th, and 8th, Highlands Ranch Walmart. Erin, thank you so much.
Thank you both.